You want a bib, did you? Hi, and welcome to week 7 of the I Formation. I'm Jeff Gibbons.
And I'm John Moist.
Back in the man cave for short term. As I told you before, just another couple of shows here, and we're moving to a new venue. So we've been on the road, back here now today. Had to move some stuff around because I'm boxing things up and get ready to go. But we're here to give you our picks again this week, folks, and we're going to keep it brief. But we should just get right to it, shouldn't we?
Sure thing.
All right. Let's start with the Thursday nighter. We got Chicago going into Green Bay to play the Packers.
The Packers' offense has not been clicking so far this season, but I think they got the right recipe here going up against the 1-5 Bears. Packers are still 3-2 and holding on to a wild card spot right now, which is, we almost got to start looking at the playoff picture now.
It's getting that time of the year, end of October,
there,
you know. That's right.
Yeah.
And the Bears' defense hasn't looked good either, so this is you're right, the perfect recipe. I'm saying 10 plus here.
I agree.
Green Bay. Next, moving to the Sunday games. We'll start with that early 9:30 start in London. New York Giants are playing the LA Rams, and I'm picking the Jekyll and Hyde one this week. I'm picking that the Rams defense shows up this week, but the Giants are going to keep this close. I think this is going to be a pretty good game to watch on both sides. I'm saying 3 points, Rams.
I think that the Giants wide receivers back them as much as I don't like them. I think the Giants wide receivers will get just enough done to beat the Rams in this one. I'm picking the Giants by 4 points.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. No more takes. You're good.
I think Eli Manning will be okay in this one. Manning versus Keenum. So I'm going to go with Manning in this one and the Giants defense to get it done.
All right. Next we got Buffalo going in to play the Miami Dolphins. Boy, did the Dolphins look good this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
made some moves.
How many points did they get?
30.
30. So they reached their quota now for the year.
Oh well. I kind of like the improved O-line and the lack of...
It was the first time this year that they had all 5 starting offensive linemen going. Guess it made a difference.
They didn't say which starting offensive lineman.
Yeah, true.
But I was very, very impressed with the way they handled themselves. And the
5 of their top ones.
2 touchdowns, 204 yards for J.J. Nice surprise, especially when you pick him in your football pool. But Albert knows. I'm thinking the Finns surprise Buffalo at home. This is going to be a 6-point game. And I think, I know, Buffalo's turned the corner, and Rex Ryan, and, as much as they beat the Patriots in Foxborough, I think we see more of the same here. And Miami finds a way to contain LaShawn McCoy this week.
Oh, I don't see it at all. I think Buffalo is really on a tear here now after winning 4 in a row. McCoy has just gone off the handle. Another 3 touchdowns there last week, 140 yards on the ground. And Miami, even though they had a pretty decent game there against Pittsburgh, still has the second worst run defense in the game up against McCoy. And the way Buffalo's been playing, don't see it. Buffalo by score.
One of the worst O-lines up until last week, too, but we saw what happened there. Miami by 6.
Buffalo.
Next, we got Washington going into Detroit. Another shootout.
Yeah.
2 teams that can put points on the board here, and I just like Stafford at home. He wins at home. Wins late. 4 points.
On a lot this week.
4 points.
I can't go against the Skins the way they've been playing. They've also winners of 4 in a row. Detroit defense hasn't been looking that great. I think that Washington can come in here and control the play on the ground. They've had their defense. Washington's defense had 5 sacks last week, and they're clicking offensively and defensively. And I think that they'll go in and beat Detroit in a high-scoring game, as we said, by a field goal.
It's not defensive play that wins these kinds of games with Detroit. And again, like last week, 3
Could be
points, but there was
turnovers.
59 points scored in the game. So we'll see.
Washington.
Okay, Detroit by 4. Next we got Oakland going into Jacksonville. Yeah, you know, Oakland's defense has been suspect. I picked them to win last week. Didn't pan out against KC. JC. Said that a few times. I was watching the games. They're in Jacksonville. Jacksonville has won 2 straight. They finally put this together, and they've got a good, solid defense as well. A lot of newcomers there. I'm saying Jacksonville close at home in the. I'd say a field goal.
I'm laughing there now because I think we disagreed on everyone so far.
No, we agreed on Green Bay.
Oh, did we? Okay, well, I'm going with Oakland in this one, and I think it's going to be a close game. Jacksonville at home. Their defense is starting to put together there. I just think Oakland got way more offense than what Jacksonville got. I think Cooper has a big game, and I see Derek Carr having a big game here. And I think Oakland wins it by a field goal.
Okay. Next, we got New Orleans going into Kansas City. And the Kansas City running game last week against Oakland, that was the big difference. I mean, they really got it going there.
Ground and pound.
I think this week, clock management and the run and the pass rush against Drew Brees, I think they've got all the pieces here for a 10-point win. I'm picking Kansas City to hold court at all.
Okay, we're going to agree on this one for sure. Very hard place to go in and win. Drew Brees has been fantastic, of course, as he usually is. But New Orleans' offense has been winning them games. Their defense is just horrible. I think, what's New Orleans now, 2-4?
I believe so.
And now they're going in to face the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are one of these teams that you really have to watch. They are a contender in the AFC, and they're going to prove it this week by winning this game against New Orleans by 2 touchdowns.
You see today, too, as we go to film today, Niall Davis was picked up by the Packers.
Packers,
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're having trouble with Eddie Lacy's ankle and
James Stark.
Yeah, and Starks, he's out for another 4 weeks, they figure. Yeah. So they're a little thin there, but that's a conditional draft pick. But that's another piece. Just come to mind there again as well. Yeah, so you're saying we agreed on that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
So where are we still talking about it? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Next we got Minnesota going into Philadelphia. So Minnie's coming off the bye, rested here. Sam Bradford's homecoming, right? And one of 2 that we're going to be watching this week, I think.
Yeah.
I think his return to Philly is going to be a successful one. I think they're going to move the ball well against that Philadelphia defense, but count on a big play coming from those special teams. That's what Philadelphia's been doing. They've been pulling those out of their hat. You know, that's the next factor. I'm saying Minnesota wins in Philadelphia by a touchdown.
I'm going to go even more than that. I think Philadelphia's offensive line didn't look very good last week. 5 sacks from the Washington Redskins, and now they're going to go face Minnesota. If they can't handle Washington's defense, they're certainly not going to be able to handle Minnesota's, and I think that I'm going to pick the Vikings to win this one by 2 touchdowns.
Skull. Next we got Baltimore going to play the Jets. And Baltimore's playing their 2nd consecutive road game in the same stadium. How cool is that?
Oh, wow. That's right.
So they lost to the Giants last week.
Yeah.
Look for Baltimore turned around after that loss. I think that they break the ship here. I'm going to say they go in and they beat the Jets at home by a field goal.
I'm going to agree with that. I think that, well, the Jets have nothing, really. Or they've shown nothing. They've got players. They've just shown nothing. Forte is about the only bright spot on that team this year.
Fitzpatrick's all but done now.
Oh, my goodness.
The Jets. And
well, actually, no, Fitz is coming back next week is what they're saying. Geno Smith came in, threw a pick of his own.
Yeah.
But no, they're sticking with Fitz.
Really?
I was reading,
what I read was different, but you know, at the end of the day, they're going to have to do something with the quarterback situation there with the Jets. It's just not getting done, and I'm going to say this is a close game because the Jets and their defense, they're at home, and they're going to keep it close.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
Next, we got Indianapolis going into Tennessee. And Indy blew a large lead against Houston last week and looked terrible on the finish. They're also ranked 28th in yards per rush on defense, facing DeMarco Murray and the Tennessee Titans, who have turned up their running game substantially.
And their run defense.
Yeah.
Looking very good.
So I think it's ground and pound here again, fundamental football, at home. I'm giving them 6 points.
I'm right there.
All right. Next I've got Cleveland at Cincinnati. The 2-4 Bengals really need this win. They've had consecutive road losses. They two good teams, but this is the point where they have to reestablish themselves in that division now. Especially now you can smell a little blood with Pittsburgh, you know, and it's going to be an interesting, you know. So they put it together here, and you know, the Bengals even at home. I'm sorry, the Browns even at home have become the NFL's whipping boy, you know. And there's people out there talking, you know, are they going to go 0-16? It could happen. I'd like to believe there's a little bit of silver lining in those clouds, and somewhere along the line they're gonna tip a team over. They almost tipped over the Dolphins, right? You know, well, it was
they
the
almost
Dolphins.
tipped over Tennessee this week. It was close. But, I don't think the Browns should have been in that game as much as they were. Tennessee.
On any given Sunday, folks, right? I'm giving Cincinnati at home here 7 points.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe a bit more than 7.
Just because it's a divisional rival.
Well, yeah, and I think that Joe Hayden's not what he used to be, so A.J. Green is probably going to have a big game here.
Oh, Jay Horn, ain't what he used to be. Ain't what he used to be. All right. Next we got San Diego going into Atlanta. And here's two teams that can put points on the board.
I'm scared of this one.
Yeah, I'm scared of this one too. I'm saying this is going to be close as hell. I figure this is less than a field goal. And I'm going to say advantage Matt Ryan in the Dome at home.
I'm going to go Atlanta as well. I'm scared of this one. San Diego is just beaten Denver, and they've been playing well all year. I think San Diego has 4 losses. 2 of those losses came by a single point.
3 of them were blown leads in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah, and the other one was a field goal.
Yes, right.
So, blown leads. So, I mean, Phillip Rivers is throwing the hell out of the ball, no doubt about that. They got a decent ground game going there. Their run defense is not too bad. San Diego got a decent team, better than their record. Atlanta, and I'm going to say, I don't usually talk about officiating on our show, but Atlanta was robbed last week when they were in Seattle, and Sherman was all over Jones, and the pass interference call was not made. No flag. Would have had him in field goal range, close enough to win the game, and Atlanta was robbed. I picked Seattle to win that game by 20 points, and now my eyes are open to Atlanta.
It was $20.
They're the real deal.
$20.
Yeah, I lost that too. But they're the real deal. Atlanta's the real deal, and they should get it done at home against San Diego. Great game, though.
Falcon fans remember the Dirty Birds winning 13 games and not doing anything in the playoffs, too.
Yeah, hard not to get the advantage to Matt Ryan the way he's been playing.
Yeah.
They got that ground game going there, too. Two-headed monsters. So.
All right.
Well.
Next, we got Tampa Bay going to San Francisco. And the Bucs traveling, doing that coast-to-coast trip. The 49ers are desperate right now. They need a win in that division. Colin Kaepernick has made the adjustment now after last game. I think he comes up after kneeling for the anthem and plays a decent game here and wins a game for the 49ers at home. I'm going to give them 6 points.
Look, I just realized something. Colin Kaepernick can use that for a helmet instead this week.
Okay.
This is it. That might fit over his head. You can stretch it just a little bit here like this, you know. Yeah. We'll send that over to him, see what he can do. Had to move some boxes out of the way to get that because Jeff's moving, but that's all right.
Just reminds me I got to go to the barber after this. All right. Next we got New England at Pittsburgh. And a week ago, I was waiting. I was champing at the bit for this game.
You picked the San Francisco game?
I picked San Francisco. You were too busy picking a hat for Colin Kaepernick.
No. I'm picking Tampa Bay in this one. Mike Evans. Oh, Mike Evans is going to have a game in this one from Winston.
The hair does it. I'm telling you. He comes up. He wins it. I'm saying 6 points. All right. New England and Pittsburgh. And like I said, what a letdown here. A couple of notes. Pittsburgh got schooled last week by my Miami Dolphins at home, 30-15. It wasn't even really as close as that. That one of those scoring plays was late. Now it's going to be, he's out now with a torn meniscus, Ben Roethlisberger. He's hard to keep off the field though. He'll be back, I would say, after the bye week, week 8. They've already had the surgery, the arthroscopic surgery. Landry Jones, and he can surprise. He's not a bad quarterback.
He's a big man too. He's 6'4" and
you know, it's a little bit of a different look for New England,
pounds or something
which
like that.
I think is going to keep this game really, really close. I think they got to run the hell out of the ball. I think, you know, Le'Veon Bell's got to run the ball. You got to make sure that you keep the ball out of Tom Brady's hands whenever possible. And I think that, you know, with the right set of circumstances, Pittsburgh still could be in this game. But I'm going to say New England wins it on the road by 3 points.
I'm going to go touchdown, New England. If Roethlisberger was there, I might go and pick Pittsburgh. They always show up against the big teams.
That's where I was. That's where I was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next we got Seattle going into the desert to play the Arizona Cardinals. It just boils down to right now, Seattle winning this game gives them a really solid hold on that division. Arizona needs this game more, and they're going to have to pound the ball on the ground. David Johnson's going to get a lot of looks. I think they manage the clock and they win this late because Arizona has, you know, has had trouble scoring points against Seattle at home the last couple of times they played. And I think it was 36-6 last time they played last January.
Yeah, I'm going with Seattle. I know earlier I said I was going to go with Arizona, but I had a closer look at this game. I just can't see it. I don't see that Seattle. Well, Seattle defense gave up a lot of points there last week to Atlanta, but Atlanta's an offensive powerhouse. And Atlanta should have won that game, actually. But Seattle still has one of the best pass defenses and one of the best run defenses in the game. And I think they can do enough here to get a win by 3 points.
Cam Chancellor's gammy. He's got a growing issue. He's going to play, but you know, is that always the smartest thing to
hard
do?
for me to pick against Seattle. You know, really hard for me to.
Well, you know, who knows? Maybe Arizona gets the call this week. I'm picking that they win this 8-5.
8-5.
That's what I'm figuring.
Okay, I'm going to say Seattle 9-6.
All right, man. I'm just going with the odd numbers there, so we have to throw a safety in or something, right?
Oh well.
On both sides.
Yeah. 2-1. No, there's no one. Isn't that CFL?
This is not the CFL, man. You don't get a point for trying. Or a badge. Anyway. Okay. So, we're both agreeing. No, we disagreed on that one too. Holy crap. Either you're going to be well up in the, or I'm going to be right up on top.
Participation award.
That's right. You know. Yeah. Okay. All's left is the Monday Nighter, folks, and that's the Houston Texans going into Denver. We sort of talked a little bit about this earlier. This is the return or the homecoming for the second quarterback we want to talk about this week, Brock Osweiler, who is slowly establishing himself. I don't know if he's still worth the money that he's getting in
No way.
Anyway, spoken like a true Dolphin or a true Broncos fan.
Yeah.
The defense of your Denver Broncos hasn't played nearly as well as it has in the past, and the last two games have been a little bit of an eye-opener. But I think they're going to feast on Brock Osweiler. I think there's a lot of pride on hanging on this game. I'm saying that they go into Denver in the Mile High and they lose by 10 points. I think Houston gets pounded here.
Yeah, I think Brock meet Von. That's all I got to say.
I mean, he's
Denver
not.
big.
Even his own teammates in team meetings don't like to sit close to Von Miller. We all know the stories on that, but yeah, I'd say 10 points plus, and I think Osweiler's going to take a beating in this game. A beating. He's going to get hit, yeah, over and over. That's where I am at. Yeah. So we agree.
Probably both quarterbacks going to take a beating. Houston's pass rush not too bad either.
No, true enough.
But like I said, Denver big. I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's the games, folks.
We're going to pick a unsung hero or something?
No.
No, not better. How about I pick one for both of us?
Clearly, I mean, you're picking out hats for quarterbacks. Why not just go with it?
Vic Beasley, Atlanta Falcons. Big reason why Atlanta is where they are.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're picking that for me. Did we not agree on that game? Did we agree on 11? I think we did.
We did, yeah.
Okay, well that's all right then.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't get that much stop this week.
Mr. Beasley, Mr. Weatherby.
That's Mr. Bean. Hello. That's the show, folks.
This is a really fooled up show this week.
It's all good, man.
It's
We went
fooled up. Trying to keep.
fooled up. Jesus. You scare me sometimes, man. You scare me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I was just thinking about that thing. The cap in the hat. That's the show for the week,
I don't
folks.
know. See, I mean, if it'll go on my head. My head is huge. It'll go on, you know. But you stretch it out for Kaepernick and just push all that hair in there and see what happens. I know. I need help. That's besides the point.
You don't need any help to do that. Not at all. All right. So that's the games, folks. Let us know what you think of our picks this week. And myself and John, this is probably the most we've disagreed on in a long time.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that all falls down. Usually we split them. So post your own picks. Let us know. Come in and give us a like on our Facebook page. Certainly follow us on Twitter at the iFormation. And you can send us an email at theiformation@gmail.com. And remember, come Thursday and Sunday and of course Monday, respect the games. Enjoy the games, but respect the games. Don't drink and drive. Is there anything else that you want to add?
That is it.
You sure now? You didn't want to pick out a shirt like for Pete Prisco or, you know?
Pete looks good in pink.
Peter and Pink.
Yeah.
This is just getting worse now. Before we get off the rails, I'm just going to sign off here, folks. So it's good night for me.
It's a good night from him. Have fun.